Hour of 7 p.m. having arrived and passed. Apologies for our tardiness. Once again, I call to order this agenda setting meeting for the month of January 2019. Happy New Year. Ms. Pugh, will you call the roll?
David Graves.
Here.
Sharday Seligson.
Present.
Jeff Hanchett.
Here.
Ava Johnson.
Here.
Veronica Curry.
Here.
Jeff Hildebrand.
Here.
Paige Strasbaugh.
Here.
Mike Belmont.
Here.
Jamie Glasser.
President, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next week we will accept the minutes for the reorganization meeting and the legislative meeting from December. The board met on January 3rd and this evening in executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and security matters. Mr. Harris, you have any announcements?
Just one announcement. This is January, and it's School Board Appreciation Month. Aww. So we appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
enjoy
you.
your parfaits provided by
nutrition.
That's all I have.
Well, thank you. Anyone else have announcements?
Yes. On your desk, in front of you, on the table in front of you, are your ethics statements for this year.
Oh.
Please complete them and get them back to us as soon as possible. So
Okay.
you don't have any problems with auditors again.
Okay, sure. Anyone else have announcements? Okay. I have just one reminder to everyone that the junior high musical is taking place this weekend. It will be held at the high school auditorium. And the shows are tomorrow evening, Friday evening, and Saturday evening at 7:30, with a 2 p.m. matinee on Saturday afternoon. I hope to see everyone there. It should be a good show. So, and we'll meet again before this, before the basketball showcase. But the basketball showcase is also the following weekend. So please plan to come out for that as well. Anyone else have announcements? Okay, seeing none. We don't have student speakers tonight, but hope to see them next week. I don't believe we have presentations this evening either. And I don't see any registered speakers. Is that correct, Ms. Pugh?
That's correct.
Okay. So that moves us into the agenda. Mr. Harris.
Okay, Board Matters 2.1, third and final reading of Policy 907, Volunteers. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none.
Okay, 2.2, first reading of revised Policy 314, Physical Examinations of Administrative Employees.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, so the only change is they have one when they get hired, and then that's it?
Yes. It's basically whenever you change a job, you do it again within that year.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none.
Okay, 2.3, first reading of revised Policy 414, Physical Examination of Professional Employees. Same thing.
Any questions on that one? Okay. Seeing none.
2.4, first reading of revised Policy 514, Physical Examination of Classified Employees. Same situation. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none.
2.5, we seek approval to accept a $2,500 donation from Edgar Snyder and Associates, LLC, to be allocated to Edgewood Primary.
Any questions on that? I'll note for the record that Miss Brown's, or I guess I should say Montgomery Brown's, winning artwork is on display on a billboard in Wilkinsburg on Armour Boulevard, which is pretty neat. And it notes that that Edgewood is the home school and that there will be a donation made as well. So that's pretty exciting. So we're grateful to Edgar Snyder for that contest.
Okay, 2.6. We seek approval of the attached resolution 535-19 between the Eastern Area Special Schools and Towerco 2013 LLC regarding a ground lease agreement. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none.
Okay. 2.7, we seek approval of Resolution 536-19, authorizing the participation in and appointment of representatives of the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Joint Purchasing Program for the 2019-2020 school year. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none. We'll move on.
Okay, special education. 5.1, approval to operate an extended school year ESY program in summer of 2019, July 8th through August 2nd, 2019 at the Woodland Hills Academy for students who are eligible to participate. Estimated cost of in-district ESY program is $171,000. Funds to be allocated from the IDEA Part B fund. Any questions?
Yes. Are there any anticipated significant differences from last year's program, or?
So, this year's numbers were based on the from last year's students who attended. So when Jen put it together, she just did that. However, we did say that we would continue to monitor the attendance. Then next year, go on trends and look at the largest amount of students who have attended because it's already in for this and ask for that amount.
And can you refresh my memory? What was the percent increase from year 1 to year 2? Or was there a percent increase in the number of students that participated?
It's a slight increase of students who are eligible, and then the ones who attend, there's a slight increase every year by amount. I mean, it averages anywhere daily, anywhere between 80 students might show up to 40 students. There's always a trend of, some come on certain days, some, don't come on other days. Average total was probably around 70 some that actually come. Usually we're eligible around 118.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we did this last year, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I was just trying to figure out if this, I know the cost is based on the number of eligible ones that we have versus how many we had the first year, how many we had the second year. Like, the more times we do this, we can start to build trends as to how many we can budget for and anticipate.
Right. That's what I had said to Jen.
Yeah.
Because I just got here this year, so going forward next year, we'll just look at the trends.
Right.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on.
Okay, 5.2, approval to ratify, renew, letter of agreement between Presley Ridge and the Woodland Hills School District. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none.
Okay, number 7, personnel. Section A, authorization for leaves. Section B, authorization for retirement resignation. Section C, authorization to hire professionals. Section F, authorization for EDR/mentor actions. Section G, authorization for miscellaneous. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on.
Okay, technology 8.1, we seek approval for data center remote support services at a cost of $6,000 from General Fund 10.
Any questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on.
8.2, we seek approval for for the purchase of a district radio repeater system and 25 portable radios at a cost of $25,000. The funding will be provided through the School Safety and Security Grant Program.
Any questions? Okay.
It's $1,000 radio?
Well, and the repeater. Yeah.
What kind of device is it?
There's a cost breakdown on the attachment.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I mean, okay.
Any questions? Steve's here.
But my understanding is that this is going to network basically all the schools, allow instantaneous contact between all the schools and within the school, right?
Yes, the repeater systems are going to connect through our wide area network, which will enable them all to be like a giant umbrella coverage over the whole entire district. And we're going to start out with 25 digital mobile radios, and this will really give us some great dependable communication. And each building will be able to talk to each other, and there's also like an all-call channel too. And there's plenty of room for growth too for other emergency services.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on.
Okay, number 11, Buildings and Grounds. 11.1, we seek approval for the use of facilities by outside organizations for the 2018-19 school year. Questions?
Yeah. Is there any way at our next committee meeting we can start talking about maybe redoing this whole policy again? I just think we need to really. I think there was some unintended consequences, and it's just an ongoing conversation between us.
Yep. Can we add that to the agenda for policy? Probably is the appropriate place for that.
We can do that. Okay. If we could get maybe a list of concerns that we could look at and maybe look at other
It's
districts.
just more of the pricing and how we blocked out the subcategories, and it just. I mean, I don't think there's a category that we hit almost to where it just totally somebody was disadvantaged by what the policy. So maybe we should just look at the policy again and try to do something more practical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions on the outside uses? Okay. Seeing none.
11.2, we seek approval of change order GC number 1 totaling $215,351 for Nello Construction for the Dixon project. Any questions?
I just noticed the number I have in the subject area, 215, is a net number.
Okay.
If you open up the attachment, they only gave us the ads, so I got to get some more change orders for all the deducts.
So we should expect some revisions to this tab?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be all three of them.
Okay.
There's deducts on all three.
Okay. How did these compare with the conversation that we had at the meeting last week?
They're a little bit lower on some of them. We're able to have the plumbers adjust their numbers down, the electricians to adjust some of their numbers down, so it's less than what we discussed last week. What I had in hand last week, this is less. We're at about $406,000 right now with the nets, $406,716.
Okay.
With the nets applied. I was around 485, I think, better last week. Okay. And we actually rejected the one for the soils.
Okay.
So we were pushing the limit of the contingency last week with that one in there.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, these are the ones that we need to have action on so we can keep the project moving.
Okay.
So should I skip the rest of them? I mean, if they're going to be amended?
Well, they're still going to be on there.
They're going to be on the numbers.
We'll stick
What I have is
Okay.
the nets are correct. I just have to
Attached together.
attach the deducts. They didn't send me the deducts.
Okay.
Okay, so 11.3, we
Wait,
seek...
I'm sorry. I think we have
So
other questions.
is this, so 11.2, the flooring, this was not discussed at the meeting that we had last week about the change orders, right? This one seems new. Like I've not seen this one before.
Which one?
The first one from
very
Nello?
first one, remove unforeseen concealed metal pan stairs.
No, this is flooring.
Oh,
We use multi-layer wood flooring and slag sleeper base substrate.
Yeah, what's it on? That wasn't part of the meeting.
Yeah, that was not in the meeting,
Yeah, that
right?
wasn't
And this does not include the window issue, right?
No, the lintels are in here. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough for that. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're scrolling down further than I. Okay, let me. Yeah, these were all the. They didn't discuss each one individually.
Okay.
Okay, this is what we had. Though. We had, and I'll get you a copy of this too. It's a little more. What you're seeing is all the detail. This is just a recap of which.
Okay, so this is all the, okay.
Yeah, now which one were you referring to?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Because we spend way more time talking about the lentils in this case and not the other smaller things. That
lentils was the big one. These other ones, there's a lot of credits that we also discussed the first floor that collapsed.
Yes,
and we opened it up. So there were enough credits that cover most of the smaller ones, but that lintel was a big one. It really resulted in being an ad.
And it was hard to hear on the phone, but the original pricing was, $700 altogether for all the change orders? And now you're saying we're down to about 4?
You're down to 406, 716 is what is in here. That's what I have on this, which I couldn't fit into there, but I'll try to get it into there. It shows all the deducts. If you open these, there's a cover letter on the Reynolds, or on the Nello one. It says contract cost change for this proposed change order is an add of $387,365. They're not taking the deducts off, which will bring it down to about $215,351. Because there are deduct change orders that we have to approve. So I have to call them. I'm going to text them in a little bit or email them and let them know I need the deducts also on here.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Giglio, I haven't yet had a chance to look at these in detail, but it looks to me.
I just added these. So.
But yeah, it looks to me like the deducts are later in the packet. There's 69 pages of documents here, and I think the deducts are starting on. I'm on page 47, and I'm seeing deducts.
Oh, and why didn't?
So
He's got a different. And I got to look and see what he did with this sheet of paper. This is a recap of what is in here, and they're not tying. So let me figure out. I'll get it corrected for next week.
Okay. Any other questions on this? Okay. That'll move us on.
Okay, 11.3, we seek approval of change order E number 1 totaling, I guess, $160,924 for Pitt Electric for the Dixon project.
Any questions there? Okay. Seeing none.
Oh, I see how he did it.
Okay, 11.4, we seek approval of change order P number 1 totaling $30,391 for Shipley Brothers Plumbing for the Dixon project.
Any questions? Okay. Seeing none.
Okay, school finance 13.1, we seek ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after the December 3rd, 2018 legislative meeting. Any questions?
Seeing none.
13.2, we seek approval of the January 2019 bill list. Questions? Good to go?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, 13.3, we seek approval of the of the November and December 2018 fund reports and student activity reports for informational purposes.
Any questions? Okay. Seeing none.
13.4, we seek approval of the investment reports for November and December 2018.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay.
Seeing none.
13.5, we seek approval to retain our current audit firm of Zelensky, yeah, Axelrod LLC, for an additional 3 years.
Any questions on this? Okay. Seeing none.
13.6, we seek approval of resolution number 537-19 and the advertisement of the 2019-20 fiscal year preliminary budget.
Any questions? I have one. Mr. Gigliotti, does this need to be 2 tabs? So we can vote on the resolutions, and the preliminary budget independently?
The resolution and the display. And what I'm not, this is the way I get these canned
Okay.
from our from PASBO. Their solicitor puts together these motions every year, changes them,
Okay.
updates them by year, and they're canned. So I just put our name in, and it's authorizing the proposed preliminary budget and display of, and then what the attachment is the actual newspaper ad that will appear.
Right.
What I need to add in here too, just so you have it, and I haven't done it, haven't got it prepared yet, is a copy of the budget.
Right.
I usually have it done, but I don't have it completely done.
Okay. And that'll be attached and displayed before next
It'll be
week.
other important under public content, is it? And then it will be displayed here in the office for
The required period.
required period. We will act on it at the February meeting.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay.
Seeing none.
Okay. Superintendent, 14.1, we seek approval to accept a grant from the Jack Buncher Foundation in the amount of $4,000 to support the operations of the Swissvale Library.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on.
14.2, we seek to ratify the acceptance of the $15,000 grant from Women for a Healthy Environment to support lead and radon testing in the Woodland Hills School District. Any questions?
Seeing none.
Okay, 14.3. We seek to ratify the acceptance of the $20,000 grant from the Women for a Healthy Environment to support lead and radon testing in the Woodland Hills School District. That's a second grant for $20,000. So there's one for 15 and one for 20.
Any questions?
And both of these grants are separate from the other grant that we'd gotten previously that Mr. Finney had.
The first grant was $15,000 that we were approved for, and then we got the total cost what it was going to take for the remediation throughout the whole school district. Everything totaled up to be almost $28,000 to make all the necessary changes that we had to. So they gave us an additional $20,000 on top of the 15 to make it $35,000, so we could make the remediations.
All right, but I thought we had gotten previous money that you used to do all the testing, or is this the grant that you had gotten before?
We don't get charged for the testing.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Finney on these? Seeing none, move on.
14.4, we seek permission to accept a grant from the UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh in the amount of $3,000 to be used on a program or resources that promote and encourages healthy behavior among students and or staff.
Any questions on this?
Could you elaborate on that program? What does that mean? Is it a specific building, or what's the plan for this?
Well, it's $1,000 to the Academy, Wilkins Primary, and the intermediate schools. 1,000 going to each.
Any other questions?
And we can just use that, we can frame the program the way we want with
Yes.
this. Okay.
Usually it's done with the pedometers, you walk around, you do something, or an activity that it could be funded for.
Any other questions? Nope. Okay.
Okay, 14.5, we seek approval for the Woodland Hills Junior Senior High School to establish a finance club. Information is attached.
Any questions on that? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on.
14.6, we seek approval for the boys varsity basketball team, varsity cheerleading squad, and select student spectators to go on a trip to Cleveland, Ohio on Monday, February 11th, 2019.
Any questions? Okay. Seeing none?
That's all I have.
Okay. That concludes the agenda. Is there any old business? Any new business? Okay. We don't have committee reports this month because committees did not meet in December. We will, however, meet again with our reconstituted committees on January 22nd and 23rd here in the administration building at 5 p.m. Welcome any and all public participation in those meetings, which moves us to public communication. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board at this time? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hanchett, second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. See you next week.